Last time this afternoon tea was a huge disappointment. Let's see how it fares 2 years later. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and the Yummy of Afternoon Tea, Stratford Edition. On the first day of summer, my friend and I returned to the Bruce restaurant inside the Bruce Hotel in Stratford, Ontario, Canada, for afternoon tea. I last visited and reviewed this venue in December 2023 and was very disappointed. Now that they are serving afternoon tea every day, according to their website and socials, I decided it was time to return to check it out 2.5 years later. Let me tell you about our 2026 experience, starting with the good. I'd say the best elements here were the improvements since my last visit. There were several, starting with the tea selection. It was quality loose-leaf tea with a timer and side plates to remove the baskets to avoid oversteeping. Excellent. There were 18 tea options in total. In addition to white, green, herbal, pu'er, and oolongs, they had 4 black teas, including Earl Grey, which was missing last time. So happy to see it on the menu. We love an Earl Grey, don't we, tea friends? Of course, that's the tea I chose, and my tea friend, the same friend who joined me in 2023, chose the Bao Chung Oolong tea. We both enjoyed them. She loved the lilac aroma of her tea choice. The next improvement was the scones and accompaniments. Last time the scones were very dry and the accompaniments were not good. This time we got what seemed to be proper clotted cream and jam. In addition, some whipped butter and some type of chutney. We each got 2 scones, a savory chive scone, and a raisin scone. The scones were still a dry texture, but they were definitely better than last time, and aided by proper toppings of cream and jam. And finally, the price was reduced, but still quite high. Last time, maybe because it was a holiday tea, so the price was jacked up, it was $75 per person. On this visit, the price was $65 per person, with $30 of that being prepaid online upon booking. Overall, at $65 per person, this is still quite high for this part of Ontario and for the food being served, in my opinion, of course. So let's get into more of the food details to see if you agree. In terms of savories, we both swapped out the trout because we don't like it, and we received a truffle toast on rye bread instead. In addition to that, there was an egg salad triangle, a ham and mustard triangle, a cucumber and butter triangle, and a coronation chicken salad triangle. I liked that there were 5 savory options. The bread was all fresh, as one should expect. The menu said that the cucumber bread had good butter on it. Is that a brand? What is good butter? Internet Google AI summary says it's a higher fat content butter. We didn't think the sandwich had any taste at all, so good butter wasn't as good. And the cucumber was maybe too thin? Maybe that's why cucumber tea sandwiches usually use cream cheese or herbed cream cheese instead of butter. Just maybe. The egg salad tasted good as it had some rocket lettuce in it and maybe some chives. It had a flavor I enjoyed. The coronation chicken salad had nice pieces of chicken in it alongside its apricot jam. This one also tasted good. The ham and mustard was okay too, but could have used a nice sharp cheddar cheese in my opinion. And finally, the truffle toast was excellent. This was our favorite bite of the day. Moving on to the sweet tier, I am actually going to classify it as the bad. They were very lackluster, like they were trying to be fancy, but they all just missed the mark. We each had a shortbread cookie, a Battenberg cake slice, a rolled cake, and a lemon item. I found it very odd that the Battenberg cake's marzipan outside had been bruleed. Is this a thing? Have you ever seen that done? A Battenberg cake is not a s'more, nor a baked Alaska, nor a creme brulee cake, so why is the top torched? The shortbread finger cookie was underbaked, in my opinion. According to the menu, the round mushy cake was to be a sponge cake with jam, which I guess it was. It was just one small mushy bite that didn't taste like anything, nor have any texture, and the lemon item was listed on the menu as lemon cake, which it was not. It was a mousse or white chocolate or white candy coating. There was no cake, and it was very tiny and also mushy. And when I finally tried the bruleed Battenberg cake, I found it very underwhelming. I do love a Battenberg cake, and I know they are very finicky to make. So I was impressed with the attempt, but found this texture very displeasing. I guess it was perhaps underbaked, or maybe it was impacted by improper freezing and thawing, especially the pink parts. They were very gummy and too dense. This was a disappointing attempt, especially for all the work involved in this fancy cake. So overall, These sweets were not up to snuff for me. Trying to be fancy but missing the mark. Wah wah. The ugly, nothing here was ugly. This is a nice enough room for afternoon tea. The chairs were very comfortable. Not a unique tea venue, but appropriate and simple. The yummy, as mentioned, our favorite bite was the truffle flavors on the rye bread. A happy swap out for what would have been trout. So back to my point. Based on the afternoon teas you've been to in Ontario, outside of Toronto of course, or the ones you've seen me post about, do you think the $65 per person price point is high or on the mark here? Based on my experience on this day, my Queen of Afternoon tea rating is 3.5 out of 5 stars. It could get a higher score from me with better sweets and less dry scones. Over to you. Will you be adding the Bruce and Stratford to your tea venue list? Share your impressions in the comments below. And please be sure you're subscribed to all the channels and accounts to see future tea reviews. We're leaving the province of Ontario for our next series of video reviews. Please do follow along, tea friends.